When you're learning Pilates, first off, it's really important to learn the whole classical repertoire, simply because you want to be a really well-rounded instructor. You want to be able to teach all the machines and all the mat and all the accessory apparatus. It makes you more valuable as an instructor, and the more skill you have, then the better work opportunities you have when you finish the program. And then if you do it all at once, then you don't have to go back and take other workshops and certifications to learn the whole system. So our course, it's the full system, and you learn absolutely everything you need to know.
First of all, well, I used to do a lot of Pilates in London, and I did it for a few years, and I learned more in my first level here than in the years that I was taking Pilates classes. I was never taught the breath for a start, and so on and so on. So yes, I would really recommend this course highly. It has prepared me to work professionally. But it taught us a lot by having to observe. So we were around the studio a lot, observing other Pilates instructors teach other clients and take classes. And we were allowed to take as many classes as we want, and as well as having to do student clients. That was a really good experience. It really helped.
Can I feel where you're? Yeah. The reason I hold on to the hip is if I didn't hold on to the hip, then I could potentially rip the hamstring out, because hamstring stretching. If I actually hold on to the hip, I know, because I'm actually pressing the femur into the hip, and no matter how much I stretch it, I'll never pull the hamstring, because the femur is connected to the hip, right? Feels really safe, right? But if I let go like this, I feel like I can pull the hip. Okay? So you get the hip socket, and you just pull it into the socket, okay? Yeah, and then stretch it out. Yeah. Good.
I had a really strong group, and it was really a pleasure to work with them and to watch each other grow. And we all came from different backgrounds, you know, from yoga, from massage, me from dance. One was a very, very busy mum who has amazing energy. So we all kind of became this great group of friends who we really learned from each other. The apprentice hours for me were really, it really threw you in the deep end, and even despite being very new to teaching Pilates, you really had to test it really tested my skills, A, as a teacher, and B, tested my knowledge really off the bat. So you really had to pull up to a level where you really were a professional, which was really quite a challenge.
Again, inhale deeper, breathe into the ribs, stretch out. Now I'm going to add some hands-on cues, which we'll go through a bit later on, deepening the stretch, right? And exhale, pulling back. Good. So I started with vocal cues. Now I deepen the cues, which on this one is to breathe in deeper into the ribs. And now I add some gentle hands-on cues just to deepen the exercise even more. And exhale and lengthen back with control. Okay, so now hip stretch is a funny exercise, because like this is the beginner version. This is the beginner with the leg forward of the hip, okay? And this is more advanced, okay, with the leg over. But this position here is a really, really bad anatomical position for your knee, you know? That's why I don't even like to give it like this, because if you're in this position here, keep that top arm long, bend the knee into the shoulder, there's this huge amount of torque on the inside of the knee here. But if you're over like that, okay, right? You've got to get it hit, you've got to pull it forward, okay? So now there's no torque, okay? Because the weight's going through, it's not pulling in. So that's why I say be careful who you give this to, because I think it's better to have a person start out here, and I know it says progress them up, and I just think that it's not good knee positioning. But so it's better to go in closer to the pole, have the foot over, and to be further away from the pole, and to bring them so far out, right? And so we start from this position. You can have a pad there. Good. Inhale, point up, point, and flex deep. Inhale, point.
Should I fall?
Ball foot. Inhale, point, and flex. Good.
I did about 20 hours a week, sometimes less, sometimes more. And then the number one thing was my body got stronger and fitter. Teaching clients was the number one thing, the best thing. It's not just teaching clients. It's just for connecting with people and interacting with people who are really interesting, and I care about them, their body and their health, and also they're really happy to help me to take care of them. And one of my clients wrote a note say, "You are an amazing, great teacher. Thank you for giving me a confidence in my body and your strength." And I was like, it was so grateful, and was really happy to be a teacher in this studio.
So we're gonna apply the principle, the seventh principle of oppositional energy. So imagine that there's a string attached to the crown of your head, and you're lengthening from the crown of your head, reaching. Good. At the same time, imagine that you have two anchors on your sit bones, the muscles back here, the bones that you sit on. Imagine those sit bones sinking into the mat, and imagine you're lengthening out of the crown of the head. As soon as you do that, then your abdominal muscles contract because you're engaging them by putting the weight of the center of gravity right into your center.
I chose whole body because they teach the classical system, which is often referred to as New York style. There's a lot of different styles of Pilates, and I just felt it was important to learn the source as close to what Joseph Pilates taught as possible. Once I knew that they did that, then I looked to who was teaching, and Nigel has had so much experience. He has an amazing knowledge, and then once I was here, it just exceeded my expectations. He's intuitive, he's compassionate, he's just a truly gifted teacher. Yeah, I would definitely recommend the certification. Providing that you want a challenge, providing that you really want to learn how to teach, and you really want to learn it in your own body, because you're going to be doing a lot of working out, you're going to be doing a lot of Pilates. And, but if you want all those things, it's definitely the program. It's great.
Eventually, Pilates should be a very graceful movement patterns. So it shouldn't be like, it shouldn't feel forced or tense. It should kind of feel graceful, And we want to get to that point. So just like that with you and clients, that if things do feel forced, it's okay, but eventually they're going to feel graceful and smooth. So there actually shouldn't be any tension in the body. Tension should be actually going through the body without being stuck in the body. Pilates actually got a lot of his ideas from watching cats. Okay, because they're smooth. What's the first thing a cat does in the morning? Stretches, right? It's like you think humans would kind of pick that up after a while, right? So the first thing a cat does, they do a cat stretch, right? And then they come back and they extend the spine back, right? Because it opens up the vertebrae and allows the nervous system, to be charged, right? So, that's what we mostly first do in Pilates as well. We stretch like a cat.
When instructors leave the course, depending on their goals. Many of them, work full-time in the industry. Some of them work at Pilates studios. Some of them work at physical therapy clinics. Some work at chiropractic clinics. Some go on to move overseas and open up their own studios. We have a very high success rate for those that want to work. Will always find work simply because Pilates has become their passion, and they have learned a really good skill, so now they can apply their passion and get paid for it, which everyone really likes to do. And so we have a lot of success and really good feedback from students in the industry. And also we have some really good feedback from other studios saying how well we equip our instructors and how proud they are to have them work for them. And some of the instructors are even, teaching and, giving exercises to other students because they learn the classical work so thoroughly. So that's something that we tell our students what they have to look forward to, because it's a very fast progression from becoming a student and all of a sudden 8 months a fully certified teacher, and along the way there's so much skill that teacher picks up, and students are almost surprised by themselves at how much they know and can now use that knowledge to be really skillful at their art.